Landowners and homeowners are subject to a variety of state and local laws related to forest fire protection. These range from rules regarding what activities can and can't be done during fire season to local regulations regarding home siting and slash disposal. This presentation provides a brief overview of some of the key laws. Citizen Fire Academy volunteers aren't expected to know the details of the rules, but should have a general understanding of the types of laws related to fire protection and the activities they regulate. For more information, see the suggested references. When forest fuels become dry and local weather conditions become increasingly hot and dry, ODF declares fire season and regulated closures to minimize the risk of someone accidentally lighting a wildfire. The timing of fire season varies from area to area, depending on local conditions, but generally it starts in late spring or early summer and runs through early to mid-fall, again depending on conditions. Fire season is usually ended when fall rains and cooler conditions substantially reduce the fire hazard. Fire danger ratings run from low to extreme, and restrictions on public and commercial activities increase with each increase in the level of fire danger. Fire season initiates regulation of both public outdoor activities on private and state lands and commercial activities on forest land. These restrictions will be discussed in the next two slides. A red flag warning is issued by the National Weather Services when critical fire weather conditions are predicted or present, resulting in the potential for explosive fire growth. The warning is issued to notify and remind the public to be especially careful and vigilant. Red flag warnings are usually associated with very low humidity, warm temperatures, strong or erratic winds, and dry fuels. Typically, these conditions are found during fire season, but they can occur during any time of the year. For example, the map shown on this page is from January 25th, 2014. Open burning is prohibited during fire season. In some localities, burn barrels may be used early in fire season. The operating hours for chainsaw use and non-agricultural mowing of dry grass are regulated during fire season. At the start of the season, when the fire danger is low, there are no restrictions on the hours of operation, but as the fire danger increases, chainsaw use and mowing may be confined to the morning hours. These activities may be prohibited altogether when there is high or extreme fire danger. During fire season, campfires are only allowed in designated campgrounds. Off-road vehicle use is prohibited during fire season except on improved roads. These are roads suitable for passenger car travel, which are clear of flammable vegetation and debris. Smoking is prohibited in forest. Commercial activities on forest land include thinning, timber harvesting, and slash burning, among others. Landowners who undertake these activities must notify ODF in advance of their intended operations. This helps ensure that the operations comply with forest practice rules. Many forest operations also require a permit to use fire or power-driven machinery. This helps reduce fire risk by allowing ODF personnel the opportunity to inspect forest operations for compliance. Both the notification of operations and permit are combined on one form and available from ODF. Landowners or operators who fail to file a notification and obtain the permit for a forest operation are not only breaking the law, but also face significantly greater liability if a fire were to originate from their operation. Commercial operations are required by law to have fire suppression equipment on site. Chainsaw operators are required to have, at a minimum, a fire extinguisher, shovel, and spark arrestor, meeting certain specifications. In addition, a fire watch is required following the completion of each day's work. Industrial fire precaution levels were established to minimize the risk of wildfire from timber harvesting and other forestry operations during fire season. As the weather grows hotter and drier and forest fuels dry out, the industrial fire precaution level increases. As the IFPL level increases, both the hours of operation and types of activities allowed are increasingly restricted. At level 1, fire equipment and a fire watch are required, but there are no restrictions on the hours of operation. At level 4, a general shutdown, all operations are prohibited. Fighting fire is expensive, and no landowner would want to be found liable for the cost of suppressing a fire, even a small one. Oregon holds landowners who start fires liable for firefighting costs if they do not follow the state's rules. As a result, anytime landowners conduct a management activity on their property, such as timber harvest or burning, they should have a plan for preventing an uncontrolled fire. They should have submitted a notification of operations, and they must make every reasonable effort to fight a fire that starts on their property. Landowners should protect themselves by obtaining adequate insurance, regardless of whatever insurance their contractor may have. When hiring a contractor, they may also want to require proof of insurance. Often $1 million in liability insurance is used as a standard. The Oregon Forest Urban Interface Fire Protection Act, often referred to as Senate Bill 360, was created to reduce the burgeoning risk to life and property associated with home development in the wild and urban interface. It is based on the assumption that homeowners have a responsibility to protect their homes. Under the Act, landowners in designated high fire risk areas are required to reduce excess vegetation near homes and along driveways. Compliance with the Act is achieved through an owner self-certification process. Those failing to reduce hazardous fuels to the minimum standards face potential liability if a fire were to originate near their home and then damage other homes or properties. The Act was first implemented in Deschutes and Jackson counties and has since been implemented in other counties around the state. Some Oregon counties have established rules governing new home construction in the WUI. These rules required newly constructed homes to meet minimum standards for fuel breaks, roof materials, and emergency vehicle access, among others. Specifics vary by jurisdiction. Likewise, some municipalities require logging slash to be chipped or hauled away rather than burned. Check with the appropriate authorities for regulations that may apply in your area. Local forestry agency officials who oversee fire regulations are usually aware of these regulations and guidelines. Open burning is tightly regulated in most areas, especially near cities where there is a concern about smoke and air quality. Many fire districts and cities require burn permits and limit the days you are allowed to burn. Call your local fire district for specifics. Escape debris burns are a common source of wildfire, so burn with care. This topic will be discussed in more detail in the fuels reduction module. Burning slash or other fuels following logging and commercial or pre-commercial thinning operations requires filing a notification of operations and permit to use fire or power-driven machinery with ODF. In addition, Oregon requires smoke management plans to be filed in conjunction with burn plans. Smoke management plans require information such as estimated fuel quantities and acreage to be burned. This information is evaluated against the forecasted daily weather and specific smoke sanction guidelines to determine whether burning is permissible.